Today's overlooked stock, NIU, China-based scooter business, George Tsilis. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, OJ. I mean, there's some fun ones out there. We talked about, what was it yesterday? Microalgo in
Microalgo.
the quantum algorithmic space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is another Chinese company, but this is a little bit different, actually quite a bit different, and I'll explain in a sec too. Not just their business, but effectively it's one of the top 10 suppliers of e-bikes, two-wheeled e-vehicles like scooters and mopeds and e-bicycles. They also sell a lot of accessories and of course, clothing, insurance services as well. And so they're primarily, of course, selling these products in mainland China, but they have a lot of distribution with sales in about 53 countries, Southeast Asia, as well as Europe. In fact, it's gaining some traction in Europe, which is quite compelling. But the stock's been up, particularly in the last little while, and they did post some pretty good sales going back to the 17th of March, where they denoted for the quarter Q4 ending 2024, 72% growth in sales. They've got positive free cash flow outlook for 2025. They also denoted an additional 24% sales for the entire fiscal year. And then they're expecting between 1.3 and 1.6 million unit sales in 2025. So they're a company that's growing. There's no doubt. They're, like I said, one of the top 10 scooter, if you will, companies in China.
Scooter or moped?
They do both. They have they both electric, but they also have traditional, gasoline types of vehicles as well. But they're known for their performance and design, and they also have smart features like their app, which includes things like location services, maintenance, repair, and operations, MRO services, and they're franchise owned across 53 different countries.
Okay, so not just China.
Correct. Yeah, but not just China. So it is a Chinese manufacturer. But here's what's different. I mean, yesterday we talked about MLGO, but we were, I think we were on the same page in terms of the questionable financials. When you look at this company, NIU, which has had a nice move over the past 30 days, past year, it's up 150%. But if you look year to date, that's where the biggest moves have happened, about 140% higher. It's still a small cap company, 321 million. Sales, 450 million. So it's trading at less than 1x sales, really not much debt to speak of. But the other thing is their cash position is quite large, at around 140 million, and very low short interest at 2.8%. So for what it's worth, the company is profitable. It has low short interest. And the reason I bring this up is a lot of times you'll see these one-day wonder kinds of moves, but they have so much short interest that they end up fading or fizzling to the downside. That's not the case here with NIU. The other thing is their adjusted profits are positive, 11 cents expected for 2025 and 2026, 20 cents. So that puts the stock relative to 2026 earnings at around 20 times. So this is one that's a small cap, but it's got some fundamentals to back it. I'm not saying it's going to continue from here, but it's worth watching.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be getting, I mean, it's Europe and Asia, but I mean, obviously this is kind of a trend everywhere to try and get cleaner vehicles. And I don't really know if I buy the pressure. I don't know if I believe that China's like making a big effort to reduce their carbon footprint, but if they do, they could lean on companies like this. And they have a lot of that on their website about what they're doing, planting trees for selling scooters and stuff like that. And I mean, it looked pretty fun. And they got like pretty legitimate sport bikes, it seems like, too. So it's kind of a whole range spectrum of vehicles, non-auto vehicles.
That's right. And I think, you have to consider the demands in China. The government there is placing much emphasis on domestic consumption versus export-led growth. This is the macro view of China's growth, which has been, 40 years in the making in terms of the big positive growth we've seen. But with that said, they're helping subsidize consumption in China. And then this also has the ability to move people around in dense populations, much cheaper than automobiles. Plus, there's also the lower carbon footprint added as a marketing campaign, and also good for the environment.
Okay. NIU Technologies, NIU. Thanks, George.